Allison, I want to bring you into the conversation because you recently had a column on how Americans are richer than ever before, but they're also angrier than ever before as well. The top 1% is richer, or is everyone getting richer? Because you wonder how much of this is, kind of relative gains.
Well, everyone is getting richer. The top 1% has gotten way, way richer. Even if you look at the income distribution, it's true the middle class is smaller, but because more people have entered the upper middle class. But even lower income people are, by most metrics, better off than they used to be. But it's sort of extraordinary because all we hear is people feel like the economy is not working for them. So, there's a lot of reasons why that could be. It could be some necessary services are still expensive.
Yeah.
Could be relative gains are what matters.
I wonder whether how much of this is tied to fundamental misunderstandings about how investing or financial markets work. You think about Gen Z, and they've really adopted this financial nihilism where they bet the house on crypto, prediction markets, all these other things, and because why not? Mm-hmm. Everything doesn't look good for them anyway. They feel like everything's rigged regardless.
Yeah, there is more this feeling that success is sort of randomly rather than, or I'm also seeing this sort of disconnect in understanding risk, that risk comes from taking, from risking more. Like you get higher rewards for taking more risk. And I don't think that relationship has been well understood. Also, I feel like there's a dearth of risk-taking in a lot of their lives in other ways. So I feel like it's expressing themselves through taking sort of outside risks in other ways. Like maybe they won't invest in the S&P 500, but they'll invest in, Kalshi or whatever. So it might be sort of also a lack of financial literacy or a lack of good risk training.
Well, you mentioned financial literacy. You own the high ground on this with your book. And with your academics as well. We're going to have the former vice chairman of the Fed on, and with your heritage to Manhattan Institute and all that, what did you think of the press conference?
There's two things I've changed my mind about in the last 5 years. One is drug legalization, and the other is monetary policy transparency, which I was a big fan of. Actually, Rich was chair of the department when I was at Columbia, so I learned all this stuff from him. And it's just, I feel like the Fed sort of started to box itself in a little bit too much with forward guidance.
Okay.
So to some degree, I think, maybe we're just not communicating so well right now.
Okay.
Maybe a little mystery and a little hey, we think inflation.
I used that word the other day, the mystery, or how does he pull away from too much mystery?
Well, you want a clear reaction function. You want clear rules, but you also don't want to say, hey, we're going to probably increase rates in 5 years or for the year. So you kind of want to strike that balance.
The Bloomberg Money angle on this is the yield. I'm sorry, where are mortgage rates in 2 weeks?
The 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is now at 6.66%. That's a one-year high.
7%? You're going to love it.
We're not at 7% yet, but it does make home ownership a lot more expensive. And David, there's a lot of talk about the affordability crisis. Has D.C. come up with any solutions that will, resonate with voters before the midterm elections?
No, not really. I mean, there was this housing bill that the president liked until he didn't like, and so I think that there's been some lip service to it. But we're at a point now as we approach the midterms where I think the prospect of there being any kind of real landmark legislation coming together seems pretty unlikely.
Right.